World of Warcraft was the best and worst time of my life. I loved escaping into a new world and had more fun than I've ever had before. But I also became addicted to it, and eventually I quit when my life got to a point where I wrote a suicide note. With WoW Classic coming out, I felt inspired to share my story in the hope that it brings peace not only to myself, but also to anyone out there who is also struggling with the same issue. This video is for you. My name is Cam, and I was addicted to playing video games for about 10 years. Last year, when WoW Classic was announced, I've actually had cravings for the game ever since. I've thought about WoW almost every single day and constantly found myself negotiating with myself about whether or not I can actually play. And this actually happened after I stopped gaming for about 7 years. I'd like to say that I've overcome it, but this continues to be an ongoing process. And even up until this very moment, I still am wishing that I could play. But for me, I know I can't, and it sucks. I wish I could, and I even find myself fantasizing about turning the game on and leaving my real life behind. Some people will say just play in moderation, and although I respect that, for me, I just can't. No amount of time is enough. The more I play, the more I want to play, so the more I play. WoW becomes my priority, and my real life, the consequence. Nothing else matters but WoW. I'll give up everything. I'll give up my school, my work, my relationships, my health, my life. And ultimately, that's what an addiction is. It's an inability to control your behavior. It's an inability to moderate. It's an inability to limit yourself. Because no matter how much you have it, it's never enough. And you'll continue to play even if your life is being destroyed around you. I started playing WoW when I was 18 years old, and I guess for context, I'm 31 years old today. I had been a hardcore gamer for a long time, a very competitive gamer, but I played games like StarCraft and Counter-Strike. A teammate in CS invited me to play WoW one day during kind of like our free time, and reluctantly I agreed. I actually didn't find myself enjoying WoW at first, but he continued to ask me to play, and so I did. Within a couple days, I actually discovered I really enjoyed playing WoW, especially just leveling up and having a different character and playing a different type of game. And soon I actually stopped playing CS and played WoW full time. At the time, my life was a bit of a mess. I had just dropped out of high school for the second time, and after living with my girlfriend for a couple months, we broke up and I moved back in with my parents. It didn't take me long to quit my job as a cook at a restaurant, and soon I found that I had all this free time to do nothing but play video games. WoW was like a gift from the heavens. I no longer worried about being depressed. I made new friends, developed new skills, and created a new sense of identity for myself. In WoW, I was someone. I was well liked, respected, and constantly felt a sense of progress and achievement. Every day I woke up knowing what I needed to do in the game. And that was a stark contrast to my experience in the real world, where I was bullied and rejected and just overall felt like I didn't belong. In WoW, I found a new home. When I think about my time playing WoW, there are so many fond memories that I have. Almost every day I would wake up and play through the morning with my friend Kenna. She was a stay-at-home mom and her husband had been deployed overseas. Together we played most of the time with our friends Daniel and Aman, who would join us after they finished school or work for the day. We spent hours talking on Vent, laughing, and supporting each other through different life struggles. And when I wasn't on Vent talking to my friends, I was listening to Justin Timberlake's Future Sex Love Sounds album on repeat. I'm bringing sexy back. In fact, my character's name in WoW was Damn Girl, and it was inspired by the song I was listening to while I was creating my account, which is a song by Justin Timberlake, and somehow it just fit. My friends would call me DG. Occasionally I would switch over to an album by Angels and Airwaves or an album by Tool. I guess someone watching this could be wondering why I'm sharing about the music that I was listening to when I played WoW, but it's because WoW was so much more to me than a game. It was a companion during a time of my life, or what I should actually say is that those albums were a companion during my time playing WoW. Because WoW was my life. WoW meant a lot to me, and it still does. I remember and ganking different guilds who were trying to raid Gruul. I remember the hours and hours and hours I spent grinding for my flying mount. And during that time, I had actually calculated the amount of hours and days or weeks that it would take for me to actually earn enough money to buy it And randomly one day, after seeing me grinding day after day after day, fully committed to this, one of my friends actually gifted me the money to buy it. And that's a moment I'll never forget. It was an act of kindness that really meant a lot to me. I reached level 60 about a month before Burning Crusade came out, and I'll always remember the first day it was released, running off to explore a brand new world. It was like having an experience I would have a lot today, which is landing in a new country, but instead of landing in an airport full of smelly people, you walked off the plane and you were suddenly on Mars by yourself. I remember raiding Karazhan and defeating Prince Malchazar, or I hope that's how you say his name. I remember it because it was a time when a lot of my leadership techniques that I learned in hockey actually came in really helpful. Eventually, I was recruited to a top 10 guild in the world who was looking for a new hunter, and it was an opportunity I was really excited about. That same weekend, I took a bus for 15 hours to surprise my girlfriend and try and save our relationship, but it didn't end up working out, and my dad actually drove through the night to come pick me up and bring me back home to safety. This began the process of me choosing to turn my life around. As much as I was having fun in WoW, it was a place where I felt like I would continue to put hours and hours and hours trying to build a different character when ultimately, in the real world, my life was truly crumbling around me. So I decided to stop playing WoW, and as much as it was hard on my friends, and it was hard for me to give up the opportunity that I had with this new guild, I just knew it was something I needed to do. Now, some will say that I didn't have a problem with WoW, I had a problem with depression, and in some ways you could be right. But if I never quit WoW, I would have never done anything to deal with that sense of depression that I had. I would have never done anything to improve different areas of my life that I neglected heavily because I was getting enough of an emotional fix from playing WoW. I had a sense of identity, I had accomplishments, I felt really well respected, I had a lot of friends, and I didn't see the need to have those in the real world. With the help of a counselor, I was fortunate to turn my life around. But I also want to point out that even today, my life is great. My life is going really, really well. I'm accomplishing a lot. I'm feeling really good about myself. I have a lot of really good friends. And I know if I went back to start playing WoW again, I would give it all up to continue to grow and learn and improve in that game. It's unfortunate, but the way that WoW is designed is just not good for me. I'll sacrifice everything in my life to be able to continue to play and to play more and more and more, because it's never enough. And that's what an addiction ultimately is. That's not to say that a lot of people playing WoW aren't addicted. I think there are a lot of different factors at play here, but for some of us, and I know I'm not alone in this, and I'm certainly one of these people, playing WoW is a huge risk, and it's just not worth it. It's not worth giving up the life I have to go and play WoW. And so although I would love to play WoW Classic, I'm choosing not to, because I'm choosing to fight for my life instead. So if you're like me and you struggle to quit playing WoW, or you want to turn your life around with any other type of game, I put together some tips for you that have helped me and have helped some other people. There are two phases to this. First, you want to think about how you quit gaming initially. So the first thing you want to do is you want to commit to quit gaming for at least 90 days. 90 days is a good amount of time to be able to create a contrast in your life between life with gaming and life without it. Now, at the end of that 90 days, I leave it up to you to choose whether you want to try moderation or whether you want to continue to live your life without gaming. Some people who go back discover that it's just too difficult for them to moderate, so they choose to start again and quit again. And some other people discover that by developing some different habits and changing their environment, they're able to play in moderation, and I'm really happy for those people. Next, you want to find replacement activities. You need to fill your day with something. One thing about WoW is that it never ends. There's always something that you can do, and there's so many different types of things for you to do. So if you're bored with one thing, you just go to a different thing. And you want to think about your life in the same way. So find new goals to achieve, new skills to develop, find new ways to connect with friends socially in person, and find new ways to be at home when you're kind of tired and bored from the day. You also want to schedule your day. Use a daily agenda or a calendar, use a whiteboard at home, but be very intentional about how you're structuring your time, especially your free time. Because if you're sitting around staring at the ceiling and you're just bored, well, you'll justify playing WoW or any other game because, hey, it can't be worse than just sitting at home doing nothing. Next, you want to learn to navigate your cravings. There's a difference between having a craving for a game and just having nostalgia. And I'll talk more about nostalgia in a moment, but the best tip I can give you to navigate cravings is exercise, spend lots of time in nature, and work on developing a lot of mindfulness, which you can do through things like yoga or meditation. And you want to join a support group, whether that's the Game Quitters community or a 12-step group or just talking to friends and family and having them support you as well. Having a support system makes a really big difference, and I know that I wouldn't be here where I am today without so many people supporting me along the way. Long term, you need to focus on building a new identity, especially if you've struggled in the real world with low self-esteem. WoW or games like it really do give you an opportunity to create a new sense of identity, and the more time you spend in that game, the less you actually develop your identity in the real world, so then the more you justify playing the game. It's really important to create an identity in the real world, and the frame of mind I like to suggest is to think of life as the ultimate video game, and you are the character you're building. So what skills do you want to develop? How do you want to feel about yourself? What goals do you want to achieve? And just take it one day at a time. For me, that's been about learning to travel, learning to start my own business, learning to connect with people on a more deep level. And although it's taken me about 10 years to really get to where I am today, it's been a lot of fun along the journey as well. And of course, there's been a lot of tough times, but all along the way, I've tried to just keep that frame of mind of I'm building my real life character instead of my virtual character. Navigating nostalgia is really important. Right now, a lot of my desire to play WoW really just comes from me thinking back to my childhood or thinking back to being a teenager and having nothing but time to be able to play video games and to have no responsibilities, and just how that felt to kind of wake up and get a cup of coffee and just play games all day. Like, that was a really exciting time. And now I'm in a different period of my life. I have responsibilities, I have a job, I have a lot of other things to do, and it's harder for me to just take the next 2 years off and play video games. And so I'm kind of reminiscing on that period of my life. But remember that throughout your life, you will go through a lot of changes. And growing up, I played hockey, and then there was a period where I was a hardcore gamer and I played WoW, and now I'm in a different phase of my life. And instead of resisting that, really try to embrace that phase that you're in. And also know that you can ultimately create new phases of your life, and you can work towards that. So a lot of the nostalgia that you're feeling is normal. There's nothing wrong with it, and you don't have to think back to that time of your life and think that it was all bad. It wasn't great for me overall, of course, because there was a lot going wrong in my life, but there was also a lot of meaning there. There was a lot of connection there. There were a lot of really fond memories and important times of my life, and that was all mixed together. And so really, I don't have to resist feeling that way. I just need to identify that I'm feeling nostalgic, and be able to continue to go forward. And I guess that's what I ultimately want to say. Instead of going back and playing WoW when you know it's not something good for you, go forward, move forward in your life. Take it slow, take it one day at a time, but never give up, and constantly keep trying to grow a little bit every single day, and be aware of those habits in your life that aren't bringing value for you, that aren't really serving you. Yeah, they might help you escape, but are they really helping you be the best person that you can be? And if they're not, then okay, let them go gracefully and continue to move forward in your life. The thing I want to end on is, if you're out there and you're struggling with WoW or you're struggling with gaming, reach out for help. There's no shame in it. There are thousands of people out there just like you and me who relate to this, who feel this way, and who struggle through it day by day. Some days are easier than others. Right now, I really wish I could play WoW, but I'm just going to kind of hang in there, and I'm sharing this video hopefully to be able to kind of get that off my chest a bit. And ultimately, I hope that it really helps you feel more at ease with yourself as well. Reaching out for help ultimately saved my life, and I believe it will save yours. So ask for help if you're struggling. There's no shame in it. Talk to a friend, talk to someone you trust, join a support group, do something for yourself, because your life is worth fighting for. If you're new here, my name is Cam. I'm the founder of Game Quitters. It's a support community for people who struggle with a video game addiction. We're just all here to support each other in any way that we can. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let me know what this video did for you or how you feel. And if you're gonna play WoW and you're gonna just enjoy it, I hope that you have a lot of fun. I'm not here to say you shouldn't play, just if you are struggling, I wanna help you be able to get through that a little bit easier. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. We have a lot more videos like this coming soon, and check out gamequiz.com. I hope that you're having a great day. All right, peace.